Now we're going to show you how to actually assemble an ebb and flow system. And the first step is to make these holes. The holes are the most important, obviously. You get a 1-inch hole saw, screw in your holes, pull it out, and make sure it's open. After you do that, or if it's pre-assembled, then you install these tub fittings here. Now what you want to do first before you install the tub fittings is put this rubber gasket on to make sure it doesn't leak. And so we stick that in there, and you can see it just fits in perfectly. And you just hold it steady and screw this on. Now, the positioning of these are going to be a little different depending on the style and the size of grow tray that you do have. The reason why is because on most grow trays, they're not going to be in the middle like this. They're actually going to be on the side, on one side or the other. You'll see these perforations. There's going to be 3 of them. And that's where you cut the holes and that's where you put them. So you want to make sure that you have them both on one side. So that way when all the water comes back down, it's going to come out of the same side that it came in at. So we got the first one on there. And you can see that both of these have 2 different sizes. One is a 3/4 inch tubing connection, which is a barbed connection. The barbed end actually keeps the water from coming back out. And this is a 1/2 inch. Now the 1/2 inch always connects to the pump. Just remember that. So we're going to stick this one in. Oh. Screw this one on. Okay. Make sure those are nice and tight. Keep any water from coming out. And in this case, since this is such a shallow reservoir and this sits on top of it, you really only need a small amount of tubing to place on this. So this is going to place some tubing on this, and that barbed connection is going to keep that water from coming out. So there we go. And after you do that, then you connect your little pump, which in this case is a pretty little pump. And this is going to sit down inside of the reservoir. Now the pump, it's got to be a submersible pump. One that just sits inside of a water tank and it sucks up the water and then pushes it up. So then we have this too. These are easily slid together, no big deal. Some of them screw together, but for the most part it's either going to be one or the other. And then there's just this sits right there, like that. Okay, so now we plug our pump in and we plug it into a timer and we set the timer, and then this will fill up wherever we set the timer. Now this is you're gonna have to run a couple tests at this point. Once you get this set up, you're gonna have to actually turn the timer on manually and let this fill up and see how long it takes to fill up and how long it's gonna sit there for. Usually when you first put your plants in there, you only wanna feed them once a day. That's it, just feed them once a day until they start getting bigger, and then you may be able to feed them once or twice or 3 times per day, just depending on how big your plants are gonna get inside of this. Now when I set this in here, the water's gonna fill up and the plants are gonna be, let's just say they're about this tall. It's just however long it takes for it to fill up. You need to time it and then shut it off. And it's going to take a while for the water to drain back down. Once it drains back down off of this, it's all going to drain right back through where it came out of the pump. Pump is going to shut off, water drains back down in the reservoir, process starts all over again. And it's that simple. So this wraps it up for assembly of an ebb and flow system.